It's time for Caribbean News, covering current events from around the world, regionally and locally, with Sean Garrity on this station. It's news the Caribbean can use. And now, the details. Preliminary reports indicate 700 people have received COVID-19 booster shots. 700 Jamaicans have so far turned out to receive vaccine booster shots since the health ministry began offering the additional dose on Monday. That's the word from the country's Director of Family Health Services, Dr. Melody Ennis. The ministry opened up vaccine boosters to people 60 years and older, healthcare workers, and all Jamaican adults who received the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Dr. Ennis is urging all those who are eligible for the booster to turn up for the additional jab. Dr. Ennis says the booster numbers have so far come in from 2 health regions across the island. The director says healthcare workers and citizens 60 years and older who received the AstraZeneca vaccine 6 months ago should visit a vaccination site to receive their booster. Dr. Ennis noted that Pfizer booster shots are not yet available due to the time stipulation set out between the second dose and the booster shot.
Persons for Pfizer don't qualify yet because we only started giving Pfizer when in August, so persons would get their second dose in September. So there's not supposed to be anybody at this point for booster who receive Pfizer.
Dr. Melody Ennis, Director of Family Health Services. Trinidad PM Rowley optimistic about 2022. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is hoping that 2022 will be a year when Trinidad and Tobago will get its economy and other social programs back on a stronger footing, even as he acknowledged that the pandemic will play a significant role in the country's future development. This year, 2021, has been another difficult year for us. We are hoping that we would have gotten out of the pandemic conditions, but unfortunately, the virus has been with us. The virus has not gone away from the world, Prime Minister Rowley said in a 90-minute interview with CNC3 television on Monday night. Rowley said that during 2021, the government has been able to open up the economy considerably and that there are only a few areas and activities that were closed. Once the economy is not throttled by the state of the virus in the country, then 2022, we expect it to be significantly improved as against 2021, and that's why we really have to do what we can to do to prevent the economy from being throttled. Prime Minister Rowley said he is particularly concerned about students who have been severely impacted by the virus and carrying a mental burden which may not be seen now, but I fear when we actually gaze upon it as Prime Minister and the Cabinet, we are concerned about the inability to have our children develop in a way they normally would. Rowley said ultimately the onus will be also on people getting vaccinated against the virus. In entertainment, Daddy Duty's delay Chronixx's sophomore album. Chronixx's Della Splash, his highly anticipated but overdue sophomore album, will not be released anytime soon as Daddy Duties have taken precedence. Della Splash was initially slated for release in the summer of 2020 and after that did not materialize. Speculations were rife that it had been delayed due to the pandemic. However, according to Chronixx, the delay had to do with the fact that he was spending time being a good daddy and raising his 2-year-old daughter, whom he had said in a past interview he plans to bring on the road with him as much as possible. In business, U.S. retail sales slow from October splurge. U.S. retail sales increased less than expected in November, slowing down after surging in the prior month as Americans started their holiday shopping early to avoid empty shelves and consumers grappled with high prices. Conway G. Gittins reports for Reuters.
American consumers tapped on the brakes in November after starting their holiday shopping earlier than normal. Retail sales rose a weaker than expected 0.3% last month, according to data released Wednesday by the Commerce Department, following an upwardly revised 1.8% gain in October. Sales have risen for 4 straight months, fueled by government assistance doled out during the health crisis. But economists say there's a downside to all that stimulus. Demand is surging, outstripping supplies, resulting in shortages for items such as motor vehicles, furniture, and electronics, contributing to an inflation surge not seen since the 1980s. Calls are growing for the Federal Reserve to step in and use monetary policy to slow down the price spike. Even though consumer spending is responsible for nearly 2/3 of all economic activity, November's tepid retail sales figures were unlikely to ring alarm bells. With only weeks left in the fourth quarter, consumer spending is already tracking above where it was last quarter, and economists predict the economy this year will finish strong.
Meanwhile in sports, JC book Manning Cup semifinals place. Defending champions Jamaica College punched their ticket to the semifinals of the Issa Digicel Manning Cup football competition following a enthralling 5-3 victory over former champion St. Andrews Technical at Stadium East. Jamaica College moved to maximum 6 points from 2 games in Group 1, having blanked Mona 2-0 last Friday at the same venue. In the second game of the doubleheader, Mona High stopped St. Catherine High 2-0 to renew hopes of a semi-final berth. And that was the news, entertainment, and sports with Sean Garrity. Be sure to stay tuned to this station for more news from around the world, locally, and the Caribbean.